Hello, readers. Welcome back. You see beautiful Winn-Dixie right there. Speaking of, we've been doing a great job getting to know our main character, Opal. We've done a lot of observing with her. What does she say? What does she do? What does she think? Are there patterns in some of those things that we've observed? And can we develop a theory about her? Is she a risk taker? Does she share her big open heart with everyone? And then the last time we were together, we decided to go deeper than just the surface of Opal. We discovered that characters can be icebergs, and if we don't pause to ask ourselves why they're doing certain things, then we are just not getting to know the character as a friend, like we had hoped when we started this unit. So today I want to talk about, instead of just focusing on very specific things that a character says or does, or very specific ways that a character acts, I want to talk about kind of what happens over the whole course of a story. And so I started thinking about other books that I've read and other stories that I've heard. And I realized that, in order for a story to be interesting, I always like when characters have to confront a problem, right? That always gets me interested. How are they going to solve it? What's going to happen next? So it kind of reminds me of, okay, so we start the story, and then a character usually finds out that they have a problem, and they may try one solution, but that doesn't work, or maybe another problem gets added, and all of a sudden, things really start piling up for the character, and we don't know if they're going to make it or not, and they solve the problem, and everything turns out okay. And when I draw this out, this visual for kind of how to organize my thoughts and sequence what happens in the story and identify all of the problems, it kind of reminds me of like a snow-capped mountain, right? And if someone were climbing the mountain, it's like, oh, this isn't so bad. Oh, it's getting harder and harder. Oh my goodness, it's so steep. I'm just not totally sure I'm going to make it to the top. Problems are solved, and I can go back down the mountain. The great thing is that this mountain visual that we have, it works for almost all fiction stories, right? After all, if we just had a story that was like this, Opal woke up, Opal brushed her teeth, Opal went for a walk. If she never confronted any kind of problems, it would be pretty boring. So I like to think of this little mountain with even shorter picture books, right? So today I'm going to show you how I can listen to a short picture book and still be able to use my mountain model to remember the problems and to see how my character engages with those problems and how they resolve those conflicts. And would you know it, I found one of our favorite authors, Ezra Jack Keats. And we learned so much about him in our informational unit, but he's also very talented, not just at art, but developing stories using the mountain model. So let's get started. All right, so even though I thought my drawing of a mountain was really top-notch, I also found one on the computer that would work too. And so as I'm listening to Peter's chair, I'm going to pause every now and then. I think that Peter is confronting a problem. And what I think I'm going to notice is that as I get closer to the top of my mountain, things are going to be getting worse and worse and worse for Peter. And then this top box right here is when Peter is finally going to get his problem solved, and whew, big sigh of relief for our descent back down the mountain. All right, Peter's chair.
Peter's Chair. Written and illustrated by Ezra Jack Keats. Peter stretched as high as he could. There, his tall building was finished.
Any problems yet? Anything I need to write down on my mountain? I hope you're going, no, he's building a tower. Cool.
Crash! Down it came.
Oh boy, that doesn't seem like that's going to go over well for Peter. So I'm going to click right here, click to add box. Peter's tower crashed down. I wonder how he's going to solve it. I think I'm probably going to learn a little bit about Peter's character depending on how he solves it, right? If he throws a fit, I might say, oh, he gets frustrated easily. If he builds it up again many more times, I might say, oh, he's persistent. Let's find out.
Shh, called his mother. You'll have to play more quietly. Remember, we have a new baby in the house. Peter looked into his sister Susie's room. His mother was fussing around the cradle. That's my cradle, he thought. And they painted it pink. Hi, Peter, said his father. Would you like to help paint Sister's high chair? It's my high chair, whispered Peter. He saw his crib and muttered, my crib. It's painted pink too. Not far away stood his old chair. They didn't paint that yet.
Let me pause for a moment. We've read a couple of pages. Do you think things are getting better? Have we reached the top of the mountain yet? I would say no. First of all, he got shushed by his mom. And almost all of his furniture is being painted pink, which he does not seem to be a fan of. Now, I noticed something in this Google slide. That is like the tiniest, those are the tiniest letters I've ever seen. I'm not sure my teacher's going to be able to read that. So maybe if I just make this a little bit bigger, now it's easier to read. Try that if it happens to you.
Peter shouted. He picked it up and ran to his room. Let's run away, Willie, he said. Peter filled a shopping bag with cookies and dog biscuits. We'll take my blue chair, my toy crocodile, and the picture of me when I was a baby. Willie got his bone.
Oh boy, friends, things are looking worse and worse every time we turn the page. I mean, at this point, Peter is so upset. He's thinking about running away. Now that's pretty bad. So my guess is hopefully we're getting close to the top where things are going to be resolved. Doesn't get much worse than running away from home.
They went outside and stood in front of his house. This is a good place, said Peter. He arranged his things very nicely and decided to sit in his chair for a while. But he couldn't fit in the chair. He was too big.
Oh boy. Just when we thought things were going to get better. And he doesn't fit into the one last piece of furniture that wasn't pink. Oof. Miniature letters, no thank you. Better. All right, fingers crossed for Peter. Let's solve this.
Mother came to the window and called. Won't you come back to us, Peter dear? We have something very special for lunch. Peter and Willie made believe they didn't hear. But Peter got an idea.
Idea. I wonder if a solution is coming up. Peter's starting to think now. The wheels are spinning.
Soon his mother saw signs that Peter was home. That rascal is hiding behind the curtain, she said happily. She moved the curtain away, but he wasn't there. Here I am, shouted Peter. Peter sat in a grown-up chair. His father sat next to him. Daddy, said Peter, Let's paint the little chair pink for Susie. And they did.
Wow, the problem got solved. And Peter felt so good about his solution that he wanted to actually be a part of painting the next chair. I'm trying to think of when the turning moment was for Peter. I think that his mom called out that she missed him, and his dad let him have a grown-up chair. I would say those two things combined are what caused Peter to be able to say to himself, I think this problem's solved, and now I can help be a part of painting my sister's chair, which used to be mine. So, friends, it is your turn to practice this. You are going to practice with a different story. After all, it's not going to do any good to just copy all my answers. Let's see how you can utilize this strategy. If you click on this title right here and you click on the link, you're going to listen to a story just like I did, pausing and clicking in these boxes, these 3 boxes right here, to add at least 3 problems that you think little critter faces. And then when you get to the top here, explain the turning point where you noticed things got better for little critter as his problems got solved. Good luck.